This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And don't forget that if you're booking any trip four or more nights by April 30th, 2010 with MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, you're going to qualify for a free one-year subscription to touringplans.com. That's right. You now access all the amazing features of touringplans.com, like lines, like touring plans, like the crowd calendar for the entire year, and that's all going to be included. So basically, you're going to book that trip to Walt Disney World you were already going to book, but now you're going to get something for free in it. It's great. Free is good. Free is more gooder. That's what I always say.
There's more goodiness.
That's right.
To free.
Check them out online at www.mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, March 31st, 2010, and this is episode 701, I think.
It's hard to say.
Of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Len, I have a cultural question for you, as it's been well documented that I obviously do not have the history on this planet that some of you have.
Oh my God!
But I have a real question.
Wow. Go ahead.
The Volkswagen commercials. Is it my imagination, or you only punch someone if you see a Volkswagen Bug, not any Volkswagen?
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, if you're walking around and you're seeing a Golf or a Jetta or something else, yeah, you
Probably
don't
punch
yell.
the driver, not you, not your friend.
Yeah, exactly. It's called punch buggy, right? Not punch diesel.
Punch rabbit.
I wanted to make sure I didn't lose something along the way or something like that. Okay, good. I feel better.
Yeah.
Thank you for your earthly wisdom, Len.
You're so welcome.
Also joining us on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Mike, after 700 episodes, you know what? It's time to tell the listeners where you live. And I don't care what you think about it. I'm just telling them. So everyone write this down. Mike Newell's address is 42 Wallaby Way.
Darn.
Yeah.
Wallaby or Willoughby?
Wallaby. That's a Finding Nemo reference there for those who missed it.
Got it.
P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney, Australia.
Awesome.
That old boy swinging a miss. All right. It's Wednesday. We're answering your listener questions, and we'll start out with an email from Amelia Small of West Palm Beach, Florida.
It's a great name.
Amelia Small.
Yeah,
Amelia.
It sounds like
Amelia, like Earhart.
It's
Yes.
like someone who should like a mad scientist name. Like
Amelia. I like it. Amelia. It has sort of a. Yeah, it sounds good.
I recently got engaged this past Christmas Eve, and I couldn't help but think about a Disney wedding. I checked out the website regarding Disney weddings and saw a bunch of different options and found myself getting confused. I'd appreciate if you guys could recommend some different spots to get married and also a place to have the reception. Did any of you guys or gals get married at the World? Thanks so much for the help. P.S. It was wonderful to meet you guys in the Japan Pavilion back in December, except Mike Newell, because he would not shake my hand because he said his hand was sticky from Japanese candy.
that is probably true.
So true.
Yeah.
Oh, good. She's getting married. That's good.
Yeah, I remember meeting her. We're sitting over there.
Congratulations. It was Amelia. It was her boyfriend and their boyfriend's parents, right?
I believe so, yes. And,
Yeah. Awesome. Good for you, Amelia. All right. Good.
So getting married in Walt Disney World. None of us have gotten married in Walt Disney World. I got married in Orlando, but I actually had my wedding. Not the reception.
The dinner.
Rehearsal dinner. I had the rehearsal dinner at Trails End. Yes.
Did you really? That's awesome. That's right. You did.
Because it was a buffet and it was cheap. I mean, you go anywhere else and the prices were so ridiculous that it's this person per person, and you have a buffet set price, and they were great. One thing I did do is I actually had Annette book it for me, and the reason why I had Annette take care of it was because we had like 50 people, and that's not exactly a usual amount of people that book an ADR.
Right.
And she basically just talked to the manager and assured them that this wasn't a joke or anything, and we did that there. But in terms of getting married in Walt Disney World, I mean, there are lots of different spaces. I mean, well, if you have enough money, you can get married pretty much anywhere. But
yeah, you could get married at the castle at noon if you wanted to, with enough money.
Yes, it's like the famous. There's a quote. There's a Simpsons episode where Mr. Burns' stupid son tries to get into Yale, and he says, "Mr. Burns, with your son's scores, and they're very low, you would have to buy Yale an airport. Mr. Burns, Yale could use an airport." So it's like, the same thing. I mean, if you have enough money, you can pretty much get anything you want. But I mean, we're talking like an ungodly amount of money.
Yeah.
My favorite place. Go ahead, Len. Sorry.
There is the wedding pavilion. My brother actually got married my brother and sister-in-law got married in Walt Disney World.
How'd you like that one?
It was nice, actually. We all stayed at the Polynesian. We the rehearsal dinner or the reception dinner was at California Grill. The rehearsal dinner was, I forget where. I think it might have been Ohana. I'll have to ask Mike where it was. And then he got married at the Wedding Pavilion, which was fabulous. And that's actually it was a relatively inexpensive for Disney.
Right.
Wedding, because I think the minimum is like 10 people.
That's right. The two places that I really like are Sea Breeze Point, which is if you're it's in the Boardwalk Resort. If you're it's across from like the ESPN zone, you know, that little gazebo type thing on the water.
Right, right.
That's a great location over there. The other place is also I think it's Sunset Point or whatever at the Polynesian.
Right,
right.
Yeah.
Those are two really great spots if you're looking for really is a picturesque weddings. But I agree with you, Len. I really like the Wedding Pavilion. I think it's got a lot of everything, and it gives you a little more privacy than some of these other spots in the parks.
It does. That's what it's dedicated for. You also get a wedding planner, by the way, when you actually go through Disney. Again, it's expensive. It's more expensive than doing it yourself, but they do make it as easy as possible.
That's right. And I'm going to actually recommend that you check out a website there, Amelia, DisneyBrides.com. It's like it's a message board specifically for people who have gotten married or are looking to get married at Disney World. It's an independent site, and it has really strict guidelines in terms of how you can join. It doesn't allow just anyone there, but it's really, really great resource if you're looking for information on getting married. And you can see people will show you you can get pictures, and if you're interested in it, it's probably your best shot for lots more information on that. So good luck, Amelia.
I saw a great photo of I guess it was a wedding reception inside the Great Movie Ride.
Yes, that's a great place. Thank you for reminding me, Mike. The Great Movie Ride, you can get married there. I've also seen you can get married in the courtyard outside of the Tower of Terror.
Oh, that's
studios,
cool, too.
obviously.
Yeah.
And it's very, very cool. You get in the Great Movie Ride, you get married. The reception is in the Wizard of Oz scene, I believe, or the gangster scene.
I seen that, and I also saw the one in the gangster scene, right?
Yeah, and you can sit down over there, and it's really, really cool. There's lots of great photos, and hopefully I'll remember to link to them. So, next email's from Enrique in Linda, who writes, "We'll be going to Walt Disney World in November. We plan to stay at French Quarter. What's your advice on when to book the trip? How late can we wait to book it? Is there any risk of selling out if we wait too long?"
That's a good question. So
let me just add, Len, they're looking November 20th to the 27th, if that changes your answer.
That's Thanksgiving week, right?
Yep.
So yeah, you'd want to book as soon as possible. The advantage of using an agency like MEI Mouse Fan Travel is if you book now and a lower rate comes out, they will try and rebook you at the lower rate. And given the number of discounts that Disney's been doing lately, that keeps them all pretty busy. But it's better them than you, right?
Right.
So I would say go ahead and book now. You can always cancel until was it 5 days before? Without penalty?
I think it depends also if they get a package. Like Magic Delay packages
yeah.
are different than room only reservations.
Right. So, but that's what I would say. Try and book as early as possible. Just make sure that you're in a resort like French Quarter, and that's because it's smaller, the smallest moderate I think by half. So it's like 50% smaller than Riverside, for example.
Absolutely.
You want to make sure if that's your resort that you get that room then. And I would say book now.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason it's not even so much that you risk everything being completely booked up, but it might be you might not be able to get into Port Orleans. Maybe you'll have to settle for Coronado, or even maybe all their moderates will be sold. It seems the moderates are the first level to sell out among the three, and there's usually room either the values or the deluxe. That's just my personal experience. What do you find that also, Len?
Yeah, I think it's true. They are. I think the most. Well, obviously the values have their own set of fans, but yeah, I think the moderates are very popular.
Absolutely. Next email is from David Bryan, who writes, "Hi guys, and net included. Big fan, love the show. I'm headed back to the world the week after Thanksgiving after a 15-year absence. I'm going solo, which at first seemed a bit weird, but now I'm actually looking forward to it. I can do what I want when I want without taking a poll. I expect to have an outstanding time. But since I'm a confirmed Disney geek, I would like to meet up with fellow Disney geeks while I'm down there. Do you know of any resources available to solo travelers to meet like-minded individuals? I've Googled without any luck."
So you could try Disboards. I think there's a single traveler, a Walt Disney World solo traveler thing there. You were going to say something?
I'm going to relay to something that Kimberly Knight said on one of the question shows on the live show. I forget.
Yeah.
She said, as a solo traveler, the best times to go are during the fan events.
Yes.
because
Oh, right.
you
Yeah,
can
good
hang
point.
out. I mean, she travels solo, and she got to hang out with us. And I know Father Bill, when he goes, he travels solo, and
Love Father Bill.
he's really good. But they all get together, and everybody becomes one, so you can be solo and still be with friends.
Absolutely. I think I'll take Len's suggestion one step further. I mean, if you belong to any websites regularly, I mean, this podcast being exception since we don't have any message boards, but if you belong to a site that has message boards, I mean, post a message on there. Hey, I'm going to be Walt Disney World. Anyone else can be around there. And there's lots of different things going on, especially during any special events going on in the parks. I mean, you can have little smaller events like Marathon Weekend or Star Wars weekends where there'll be something usually going on in terms of group meets. And then you'll have, like Newell mentioned, you'll have the bigger events, be it Reunion, be it Tent Fest, be it any of the other events that go on throughout the year for either our community or other communities that go on there. So be aware of some of those, and I think that will be a great opportunity for you to be able to meet those like-minded individuals.
Awesome.
On another note, after I booked my... Oh, go ahead.
Don't
Lon.
forget Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook and Twitter, absolutely great places. Cool. On another note, after I booked my week at Port Orleans Riverside starting on November 29th, I booked a hotel outside Universal for the Wednesday before on November 25th. I plan to take a taxi from the iDrive Hotel to Port Orleans, but was wondering what my best bet was for getting to the iDrive Hotel. Could I take Magical Express, which is included in my Port Orleans booking, to Disney and get a taxi? Or should I just give up on the arrival usage of Magical Express and go with Mears? Is a private car service the better way to go?
I think it's cheaper if you actually get onto Disney property first. Don't you think?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like... Is he coming from the airport? Because you only get Magical Express when you're coming from the airport.
It sounds like he's coming from the airport.
Was wondering what my best bet was for getting to the International Drive Hotel. Oh, I see. So he's taking the bus. You're right, Len. Taking the bus to Disney and then taking a taxi. Yeah, the taxi would definitely be cheaper from Disney to Universal or to iDrive than from the airport to iDrive. I mean, it would take more time.
I think so.
I mean, that's the only thing. I mean, it's going to take you more time, obviously. So, if you're coming in at let's say 6 p.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever, we're going to go to the parks anyway that day, so it's not a huge loss. But if you're flying in at
Oh yeah.
lunchtime or before, you'd be wasting a good portion of your day.
Yeah, got it. All right.
Next email is from Dan Cisneros of Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Dan.
Right, so love the show. I'm hooked. I know this will never happen, but do you think it would work if Walt Disney World opened a theme park called the World of Yesterday or something like that, and featured attractions in the past like the Submarine Voyage, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Delta Dream Flight, Horizons, Body Wars, America Sings, Captain EO? These are just a few for starters. What do you think? Would it work? I would think it'd be awesome, and I would definitely spend a day there every time down. What do you think?
Get me an AP.
Yeah, exactly. I think we would all love it, but I think we might not be the target audience.
Yeah.
The reason why those shows close is that the Disney determined that the revenue or the popularity with the guest, it wasn't enough to keep it open long enough. So it was either too expensive to run, or not enough people liked it, and even if it was inexpensive to run, that's kind of the problem there.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as we all would all love it, I mean, Newell just said he'll buy an annual pass to it. The majority of the population really doesn't care for it to that extent. So it will likely never happen. But I think we all love the idea. Sure, why not?
Love the idea. I mean, yeah, I think we'd all, if we won the lottery, there's one attraction that we would all each like to bring back. But an entire theme park would be difficult.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it though.
Next email is from Katie Smith from Utica, Michigan, who writes, I was wondering if you could let me know if any of the resorts are better than the others to take off from for the Wishes cruise.
I don't know. This is a good question.
Yeah.
Any of the resorts are better than any other to take off from.
I mean, I prefer taking off from the Contemporary.
Is there any reason why? Why do you say that, Mike?
I don't honestly have an answer. I just like going over to the Contemporary. I like their marina.
Okay, fair enough.
Really, what you like about their marina versus like?
I don't have an answer. That's the funny thing. I can't explain it. I just like. I don't know. I just like going over there. Yeah.
It's just purely subjective. Fair enough for me.
Although, from there you have to go across that little, the bridge, the over the water bridge.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any advantage
I don't
from
think
one
so
over the
either.
other. I think
Yeah.
it just comes down to being subjective. Like Mike said, let's say you're a big fan of the Polynesian. Why not go to the Polynesian? Because that way,
Yeah.
you can spend a little more time at your favorite resort. Versus if you're like Newell and you prefer the contemporary, go there. I mean, make it. Maybe you're going to make dinner reservations beforehand. Make it at that resort that you're going to have the launch from, and let it determine it that way. If that makes sense.
Maybe that's why I usually do it, because we usually have dinner there. That might be it. You might have just nailed it.
Oh, there you go. I can also predict the weather for tomorrow.
How about the lotto numbers?
the?
I got my pen.
Next email is from Jody, who writes, listener since the single digits, but first time emailer.
Oh, wow.
I just wanted to comment on the listener questions regarding River Country that were asked in episode, I think it was 597. Can't check right now, as you can see, typing this on my iPhone while listening to the podcast. I took the Fort Wilderness Segway tour in December 2008, and with the semi-permission of the tour conductor, snuck some photos through the green security fence, as I've always been a huge River Country fan and miss it dearly. A friend even climbed up on a tall rock to shoot some pics over the top of the fence, and we were stunned at the condition it's in. Far from being as decrepit as I thought I would be, it merely looked like a water park that hadn't yet opened for the season. There was no trash on the walks, light bulbs were intact in the lanterns, everything looked as pristine as it possibly could, considering it was an outdoor attraction. The only thing amiss was that the water in the pool was green, as one would expect at a non-open attraction. There was even freshly painted River Country trash cans near the front of the park. Needless to say, I was curious about what was going on, so I found a friend who works for Walt Disney World and asked him what was up. Apparently, there's some sort of health concern with naturally occurring bacteria found in Bay Lake, and until it can be brought under control, the water park can't be opened safely. There have been attempts in the past to reopen, which explains all the upkeep, but they haven't been able to do so yet. Anyway, thanks for the wonderfully entertaining podcast. They make training for the upcoming Walt Disney World Half Marathon so much more pleasant. And Len, I can't wait till there's an unofficial guide iPhone app.
There is lines.
Lines there.
So go ahead and take a look at it. So the reason why they upkeep River Country is at night when all of the guests go to bed, they run they run the most dangerous game back there, where they bring select guests on who pay a very high price to hunt one select Disney cast member every night.
No, well, after 700 episodes, I'm inclined to mention that this is a joke.
Yes.
And
Yes, it's a joke, by the way. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you haven't read the short story The Most Dangerous Game or seen the Twilight Zone episode of the same name, it's a joke.
Yeah. Actually, Jody attached a few pictures that she took over there, and they look pretty cool. I mean,
Sweet.
It does look pretty interesting. And there's I think we mentioned on the show that the listener question show that Jody was referring to, but there's a thread, and I hope Philip will be a good enough lad to link to them I believe on the Discord. Someone took a lot of photos. They got in there somehow to River Country and to see what it looks like today, and it's too bad. I mean, we kind of talked about it last show, but it would be nice. Speaking of things that are now gone, to have River Country opened up one day, but of course. Brain-eating bacteria. I think I'll let a few people go first. Yeah,
I think I saw that movie promo when I was in Sci-Fi Dining a couple weeks back.
I don't want to grow anymore.
I don't want to grow. Yeah. Oh my God. And I actually had to set through 2 reels of that.
That's
Of the
awesome.
same-
I love
oh
that
my God.
film. If anyone could get a hold of that film, I'd love to have that.
Awesome.
I have the audio, but I'd love to see the whole thing put together in video.
Would you really?
Oh, I watch it every day. I love that thing.
Let's watch it every day.
Next email is from Glenn from Texas, who writes, I'm at work and have just read that Disney has purchased the Marvel Company. I was wondering if you guys had any opinions on this. Do you think that Disney will try to incorporate Marvel characters into any of their parks? Where would be a good fit if they do? I could see them working at the studios maybe. While I'm a comic book fan, I'm hoping that we won't be seeing any Marvel characters roaming the world anytime soon. I think that they take away from the magic of Disney.
So I think we
did a show on this.
We did a show on this back when it actually happened. So I don't know if Glenn is just getting the news late. We also had Chris Eliopoulos on, right?
Yes.
Who's a
He's a cast member.
works for Marvel, yeah, and now Chris is completely owned and operated by the Walt Disney Company. Yeah, I don't think I think they're going to keep things relatively separate. I think Disney's looking, I think, more for the movie rights to some of the lesser known characters. Perhaps than any sort of theme park play at this time. From what I understand, though, from reading the news over the last couple of weeks too, because the deal is still in the news. Apparently, Marvel has so many complex licensing agreements with all of the characters. That some of which go back many decades, that Disney is still trying to figure out what licensing deals those characters have, even after they've agreed to buy the company. So like they're actually trying to figure out things like, who owns the rights to Spider-Man in a theme park attraction and things like that. Maybe not for Spider-Man, but I guarantee you for some of the lesser known or some of the older characters,
Right.
where Stan Lee might have been cutting deals with people going back 40 years. I guarantee you that some of that stuff is being litigated right now.
Right. I think one thing, and obviously the show we did with Chris Eliopoulos a little while back, it definitely is something you're going to want to listen to. The other thing is, people in terms of their role in the parks and everything. I mean, there are people who's, don't forget Winnie the Pooh, Muppets. These are obviously these are brands that were not Disney to begin with, and Disney acquired them. And of course, there are still people who are opposed to Pixar in the parks, and that's obviously now a part of the Disney brand as well. So,
clearly, what we need to do is come up with our own small animation company and get bought by Disney. Go
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, let's just we'll pay $20 to Eliopoulos because that's what he's worth, and then we'll get, I'm joking, it's really 10, but I wanted to make him feel better. And that'll be it, Len. Then we can retire and move, and open our own tequila brand.
Exactly. If it worked for Sammy Hagar, it works for us.
That's right. It's a perfect business model.
I remember Eliopoulos saying something about that there were licensing agreements that they couldn't display characters east of the Mississippi or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of these deals just go back so far. It was actually in the New York Times, I think, over the weekend, that they're still trying to figure out who's got the rights to what out of the 4,000 character universe that is Marvel. And I mean, this is like 6 months now. You should figure with the team of lawyers that they have on it.
Next email is from Terry Sizemore of Norwalk, Ohio, who writes, Dear Matt, may the 4th be with you. Mike Newell, as Olivia Newton-John would say, I love you. I honestly love you.
Honestly love you.
The secret is to bang the rocks together, guys.
Together, guys. Hey, for all you. Yeah, that's awesome.
What's that from?
It's from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. I think it's from.
Really?
Yeah, awesome. Actually, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but in the Color Companion, I actually quoted from the unofficial guide in the Enchanted Tiki Room review.
Nice.
And the way I said it was that it's very subtle, but I said to quote another guide author. In this case, it's not an unofficial guide; it's the Hitchhiker's Guide. Nice. Awesome.
That's great.
Haven't been sued yet, so I'm assuming that one got past everyone in the Douglas Adams estate. Anyway,
Douglas Adams dead, so I think you're good.
That's what I'm saying, in the estate. Yeah, but I mean, anyway.
Then Len, they have the same lawyers that are looking over the Marvel characters, so you got a while.
They're just a little busy. They should get to me in about 10 years.
Mike Scopa, the top item on my bucket list is to portray Lady Macbeth on stage. Now to my question.
Go ahead.
Do you guys know anywhere that I can get a Kungaloosh on property now that the Adventurers Club is closed? I have the recipe to make my own at home, but as Dole Whips and popcorn fans have taught us, everything tastes better at Walt Disney World. I'm sure you want to answer this before I head to the world in 2014, but maybe you'll get it before my trip.
Just got it in.
I don't know of anywhere you can get on property.
What's in a drink? What's in a Kungaloosh drink? I don't know.
You know what you could do, and I haven't tried this yet, Terry, but it's worth a shot. Bring the recipe with you, and then if you go to like one of those bars around Disney property, the cast members there are very, very nice. Newell, I'm sure you can vouch for a number of different. Ask them to make it. Say, here's the recipe. Can you cook this up?
Let's go. Hold on. Here's the Kungaloosh recipe. There's two actually. So it's a cup of strawberry daiquiri mix, a quarter cup of orange juice, a quarter cup of blackberry brandy, and a quarter cup of Captain Morgan's spiced rum. Toss it in a blender with enough ice to make it slushy.
I bet
have somebody make that.
Yeah, Tim or Alan can make that for us. So easy.
There you go.
The old version from 1997 is 1 1/4 ounces of vodka, 1 1/4 ounces of Malibu rum, 3/4 of an ounce of Midori. It's a melon liqueur, 2 tablespoons of pineapple juice, and a splash of cranberry juice.
Terry writes, also I have a tip for your listeners. Appropriate foot apparel for the parks is a widely discussed and debated topic. I've always been a firm believer in high-quality walking or running shoes, particularly after getting shin splints while wearing Keds on my honeymoon. Ouch. However, a couple years ago, I started wearing FitFlops, available through Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret. They provide the comfort and convenience of a flip-flop, no blisters, no sock issues, no walking around in wet tennis shoes, with the support of a good athletic shoe. While I can't make any sort of informed scientific statement about the claims they improve muscle tone or posture, I can tell you I've worn them on 3 trips full Type A Commando touring style, and will never go back to traditional athletic shoes before.
I've heard the same thing too about them.
Well, I guess we got to go to Victoria's Secret now to pick up the shoes, of course.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Of course. Yeah, well. Next email is from Jeff from Brooklyn, New York. He writes, I've always loved being in the world, but nighttime is extra special. Taking into account park hours, crowd levels, special events, and any other variables you can think of, what's the best time of year to get the most out of touring under the lights? Well, actually, Disney's trying to make it for this summer to be the time of year if you're looking for that, Jeff, because with Summer Nightastic, they're extending park hours and they're offering, given the name Summer Nightastic, they're looking to provide a lot more stuff in the evening hours during the summertime. So that may sway you a little bit. Obviously, the electric water pageant, the Main Street Electrical Parade.
Yeah.
Try again.
The Tower of Terror night effects that are going to be going on over there. There's a DJ party at the Rock and Roller Coaster Courtyard. Animal Kingdom park hours are being extended. So if that's important to you, being able to spend as much time as humanly possible at night. Summertime is great because obviously the park hours are long and you get to enjoy the offerings over there. What do you think about that one? Are there any other times of the year that you would recommend, or?
There's that. So I think summer, in terms of getting the most bang for the buck, in terms of park hours, you really can't beat that. The other time that you might conceivably could do it is Christmas, when the park is open till midnight, and then with extra magic hours, it's open till like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. depending if the park closes at 1. But those are the two big times. Other than that, I think it's difficult to get 16 or 17 hours in a park. I remember having to do one data collection day in the Magic Kingdom that was like 17 hours for some reason.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so it was like 9 to 2 a.m. or something like that. It was just insane. It was like 9 or 8 to 1, something like that. It was just close.
Yeah, especially also in the summertime, you get those extra magic hours. If the park closes at 12, 1 o'clock, now you're looking at, the 3, 4 o'clock a.m. closing time. So,
yep.
Yeah, if that's obviously even the summertime though, that can still be very warm out. But if the weather's not so much an issue for you, like you said, Len, in terms of bang for your hour at Disney World, that's really going to be the best time for it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's see here. All right, time for our last email of the day, and that means I will ask Mr. Newell. I'll give Mr. Newell 3 questions to choose from. 1 gets answered today. The other 2 go back into the email queue to be answered later. Are you ready, Mike?
Yeah. No privacy at all around this place.
Nice. You've rigged up what we call it. He calls it air cooling.
Too bad he's looking at the wanted ads.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, here are your options, Mike. Ye old-timey world photos.
Okay,
Don't fake my neighborhood. Or fast pass rules meant to be broken.
Ooh. Len? Does that sound intriguing?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay, let's go with that.
Last email of the day comes from Kathy Adams from Connecticut, who writes, I know that you can use fast pass anytime after the printed return time, with the possible exception of Soarin'. But what sort of success have you had using a fast pass on a different day than when it was issued?
Oh, not since they went to the new format of fast passes like 2 summers ago, where the date is much more prominently displayed than it was. It's the chances of you getting away with that are drastically reduced. Prior to a couple years ago, though, we were using stuff that was 3-4 years old.
Yeah, you can listen to some of the early episodes of this show when we mention it. In those episodes, and you're right, Len. It used to be that was kind of the cast members either just didn't care or overlooked it or weren't really instructed to waste their time looking at it.
Yeah.
But for years, you could really use old fast passes from way past. Literally years ago, and you would be able to use it. And now Disney, as you're right, I think I don't exactly remember when, but they've really cracked down on it. And even a day's difference, I really don't think will fly anymore.
Yeah, no, it won't. So
yeah, so it's not really even worth your effort because you're just going to look really, really dumb over them.
Yeah, it is embarrassing, and with just a little bit of extra running around, you can get those extra fast passes that you want. So I would just go ahead and do that.
Very good. Well, that's it for us today. Don't forget that this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And, when you're booking, maybe you haven't booked with a travel agent before, and you're saying, well, why should I? And one aspect that you need to know is that when you're booking with a travel agent, especially MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, they're a no-fee agency. What does that mean? That means that to book with them and for you to book by yourself, it's going to be the same price. They don't charge you. Disney doesn't charge you extra. They don't charge you extra. The difference is going to be you're going to be possibly alert to some different deals that are going to be coming up, or they're going to be able to get you in maybe in a special group rate or some other rate that you weren't aware of. So if anything, you stand to benefit. At the worst case, it won't cost you anything extra than if you're going to do it by yourself. So why not let someone else do it for you? Check them out online at www.mousefantravel.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the WDW Today website at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.